Have you ever wondered what is fact or fiction when it comes to taxes? TurboTax can help you. It's a quick and easy way to learn how to maximize your tax refund. Expert tips for real people in 5 minutes or less. Simply search TurboTax Tips wherever you listen to podcasts. That's TurboTax Tips wherever you listen to podcasts.
Good morning and welcome to episode 9, 7, 8 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down to dunk and get The Athletic for $3.99 a month. I am Luke, joined this morning by Andrew.
I gotta say, I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool, pretty damn cool. Woo!
Slam through.
Taylor.
To whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, I will find you. You have my word. She told me to walk this way, talk this way, walk this way, talk this. Slam through.
And Jay.
It's Jay.
I can't believe you wouldn't go all the way to just give me a kiss.
Just give me a kiss.
Oh, man.
Luke is wearing a full Adidas tracksuit today,
It's
so
true.
it made me think of. I wasn't gonna do the rapping part of that song, so I did the Steven Tyler part of that song.
Oh, man. Yeah, if you want to check out the L-Man in a full tracksuit,
That's right.
check out our YouTube page.
I don't got work today.
Subscribe.
Oh, but you gonna do some work today.
But I'm doing some work in my tracksuit.
Oh, so the Thunder getting on track. Speaking of tracks, they're getting on the tanking track here.
Speaking
Finally,
of tracks, have you heard of Jehovah's Witness? Do you have a moment to talk?
wow. Okay, so they just get destroyed by the Atlanta Hawks last night, 116-93.
Just after getting destroyed by the Chicago Bulls.
Just dismantled by the Bulls. I looked at the schedule and I saw these games and thought, oh no. Like Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, Minnesota, they're probably going to win all of those games. And they just get smashed.
Sam and Coach Daignault were like, no.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we're going to play Moses Brown the same amount of minutes as Al Horford.
You think
And,
Coach Dag is in on the tank?
He has to be.
I mean, have you watched the games?
I have.
Have you seen the rotations?
But do you think he's just being a good employee of Sam?
I mean, there is.
What do you think his heart is behind
There
it?
is-
That's what I'm asking.
I'll tell you this. Coach Daignault cares about getting high draft picks just as much as anybody else does because this is the team he has to coach.
Yeah.
And this is like for his job. And he knows that the organization, if he won one game this year, they would not fire him.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows that getting the top pick is a priority. Now, he's not going to tell them not to play hard, but he has definitely shifted his rotation.
It's so clearly evident that they're changing their entire intention this second half of the season. Here's what happened in my mind. And I know somebody on Twitter or a few people on Twitter mentioned this, is I feel like instead of Sam actually having a conversation with Daignault, he called him and he said, hey, man, will you come over to the house? I just want to hang out, spend some time together. And then they just sat in silence as they watched OU OSU back to back and watched Cade Cunningham and just sat in silence and said, hey, man, thanks for coming over.
No words.
No strategy, no conversation.
And then he's on his way out. He turns around and goes, oh, Sam, that's right. Yeah. Hey, so I'm going to start playing. Moose isn't going to play anymore. Just letting you know. Roby's going to start playing a lot.
I just want to get creative with this. We just want to see what we have on kind of the back end of this roster. Is that cool with you?
I want to
Sam?
see what a Horford Roby Poku lineup looks like.
We saw it yesterday.
Literally, we saw
What
it
do you think about
yesterday.
periodically just sit and shave for no reason? Does that sound good?
And then he was like, hey, let's fire up YouTube. I'm feeling like Evan Mobley. Just see what you think. Just
Just
see.
see.
I think it's more heavy-handed than I think. It's like, I think you should really start exploring the roster. It's like, oh well, yeah. I mean, I could do this. Like, no, really explore it.
Like, what does that mean? I don't know. It is the funniest way to say that we're tanking is we're exploring the roster.
It's so funny.
I love
It's
that.
it's my favorite thing of the season.
Especially a roster that's already like flawed.
Yeah.
We're just wanted to see what we get with Svi. If you're like, why?
Don't
you
worry
have
about it.
Muscala. Yeah, but this guy, I don't know.
This
I don't
Moses
know.
Brown guy. I don't know. Did you know he was a McDonald's All-American?
Oh God, he got freaking yammed on last night. That
He
Capella
did.
dunk was bad.
He did.
He got his yams last night.
Poor guy.
I don't know. It's. I don't know how you can watch this team and deny what the clear intention of this team is going forward.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's the right thing to do. And they're losing
is.
these 2 games. They've lost back to back. That Memphis game was such a shock. We were all like, oh no.
They can't do it.
I know it's
They're
impossible.
trying, but they
Which
can't
is
do
funny.
it.
Like Memphis was at full strength. Like it was their team.
Memphis,
Other than Jaren Jackson Jr., which I'm not actually sure he plays for them.
he had. I mean,
That guy has been so injury prone as he's started his career. But
yeah, it's
they had
brutal.
everybody else. Brandon Clark, Jonas. I mean, they had everybody on that
Mhm.
team and still couldn't beat the Thunder. And then Chicago, they play this weekend. They've got back-to-back games actually, which kind of maybe I don't know what that's going to look like, but they play the Rockets on Sunday. Another 1:00 tip.
Yep.
Thank you, Lord. 1:00 tip, and Christian Wood's back. I don't know what that line is going to look like for Houston. You know, is John Wall going to be back or Victor Oladipo? And does that matter? They are horrible and
They're
are
very
going in
bad.
the opposite direction of pursuing a record 19th or 20th loss in a row. And then they play on Monday evening. They play the Minnesota Timberwolves, and so I think
Who beat the Suns last night? By the
I
way,
know. So who knows what the next few games look like?
the Wolves look more competent since their best player is back.
Shocking.
Like, huge surprise. And also Anthony Edwards has started to figure some stuff out.
I was
And
gonna say he's been having how many games over 30 now in the past couple has he had?
last night he was so sick, but he had 42, 7, 3, 2 steals.
Yeah.
He was unreal. He did take 30 shots.
He's
That's
not- he's
good
not the most
though.
efficient.
Good.
Oh, I love it.
Tim, last time I took 30 shots, I got really wasted.
And had to go to the hospital.
Don't do that. It's too many.
Good job.
Anything else about this team? Currently
He really
that's-
isn't working today.
I think it's pretty clear that I don't know the Ariza Myers Leonard trade, which we're not going to deal with a lot. If you want any of that, you can go back to the Wednesday pod. But I think that you're gearing up. Trade deadline is less than a week from today, which is Friday. It's the 25th, and so I think it's going to be a busy week for the Thunder.
It should be. Yeah. I mean, right now they sit at 12th in defense on the season. I think they're 29th in offense. And then they're 27th in net. Like, this is a bad team that if they're selling off spare parts, they apparently are getting calls on Kenrich Williams. And if you trade him, it'd be very
over.
helpful.
Yeah.
It would be very helpful to the cause. I don't know that they're going to trade him. I know the Thunder they really like him. They really like Kenrich. But if somebody offers something legitimate for him, I think you probably have to take it because he's 26 years old.
Bye.
And that's what I was gonna say is if you already had the star on the team, then a guy like Kenrich Williams is one that you want to keep around and just build with,
Mhm.
right? But this isn't a guy, if you can get something good for him, it's still not worth hanging on to a guy like that.
No.
It's just not.
He's 26, so he's a little out of that age range you're looking
He's-
at him. He's
He's
4
really
years
good.
older.
Normally you'd want to keep him.
Yeah, he's exactly what you want on a
Yeah.
team that's competing, which
Yeah.
is why he's getting called. Like, he's a pretty low cost addition to a team that could really help.
Yeah.
I mean, start listing competitors or champion. What am I looking? Not competitors, contenders.
Constituents.
Start listing your constituents and see how far you get until you find a team that doesn't need a guy like Kendrick Williams.
Kenrich.
Kenrich.
I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you said Kenrick. a lot.
Kenrick.
Yeah, you've been doing that.
Kenrich.
That's been.
Well, I'm glad you got it right now that he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be watching him making some incredible plays for the Lakers or something.
He'd be great. For any contender.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Nets would love to have
the
him.
Nets would love to have him. Yeah.
Sixers. Yup.
Yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah. Knicks.
Julius Randle is going.
What do you have?
wild.
17 assists last night?
And like, yeah, set a record or something for the
Yeah,
franchise.
I think he had 17 assists last night. Isn't that unbelievable?
In a pretty brutal game.
he's somehow playing 53 minutes a game, but he is
They won
playing really well.
94-93.
Yeah, how do you get 17 assists and your team only scores 94 points?
He does everything for them.
literally everything.
He does every single thing for
Has
that
this?
team.
Are you starting to? Is your opinion of him starting to change at this
Sure.
point yet?
Yeah, he's an
Because I
awesome-
know before it was like, well, it's the Knicks, good player on a bad team, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's been pretty consistent now.
Yeah, I mean, he played 40 minutes, so I expect him to be like Luol Deng and just be completely broken down in the next year and a half.
Yeah.
Because this is what Tibbs does, is he plays his guys. He played RJ Barrett 42 minutes and Randall 40 minutes. I mean, it is crazy. And then I'd be kind of excited if I were a Knicks fan. Like, they're 500, that's cool. Obi Toppin played 8 minutes.
Oh God, Taj Gibson played 31 minutes last night.
Yes. I
Yeah,
mean, it's fun for a little while. And then when they're 500 again next year, it's like,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Right.
The thing that's crazy for me is I'm looking at that team and I'm thinking, again, we all thought, why even draft players? Like, obviously
Yeah.
with Quickly, that was but that was a second round pick, wasn't it? Or a late first?
He's 25th pick.
Why not? Why would they draft Obi Toppin? Like, why would they even just trade that and get somebody that because you know that Tibbs is not going to, whether or not you can look at it two ways. Obi didn't earn an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
Sure. He was hurt to start the season, but also Tibbs, like, that's just not his thing. Although I say that and he is playing Quickly
He's playing him a lot.
So
They just
maybe-
picked the wrong
maybe
guy.
Obi. Maybe
Honestly,
that's what it
they
is.
picked the wrong guy. If they pick Halliburton would start
Yeah.
and play probably
Yeah.
40 minutes for them too.
Which is the thing that's so frustrating about the amount of teams that missed on Halliburton is like everybody that I know that knows college basketball and recruiting or the draft
Yeah. Knew that he was
just
good.
raved about Halliburton.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It was weird.
The Knicks also missing Austin Rivers and Derrick Rose too. So
True.
Those two, if they were healthy, Tibbs would be playing them a lot. as
Yes.
well.
Without a doubt.
Well, and I'll say, speaking of ugly games, I watched a bit of that Bucks Sixers game, and that was a game that almost ended it. If it wouldn't have gone to overtime, it would have ended in the 90s as well. So some ugly basketball going on here. And I wonder, a lot of times in these, we're not quite there yet, but towards the end of the season, it just becomes that like dragging teams into the playoffs because the effort just decreases. I wonder if some of that changes because of how funky this season is if you actually see the quality ramp up toward the playoff
Yeah.
in comparison to the years before. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's been such a weird year. I think everybody's ready for this to be over with for the most part, or at least ready to get to the playoffs. And I'm very interested to see who makes deals to get better in the next week, because I do think that there's a lot of teams that would like to get better. Like I'm so curious if Boston is just going to punt this season and just be like, okay, like whatever, we'll try to get better in the off season, because
Would they trade pieces or would they just kind of deal with who they have and just kind of let it ride?
I mean, they're going to have to reform their roster
I'm saying for this season.
for this season. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think there's a chance that they just do nothing.
If they don't make moves, that clearly means their attempt or their intent is to spend this summer rebuilding the roster.
Yeah. And
Use that trade exception.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they have the same record as the Hornets. Right now, they would be the 8th seed,
Yeah, that's not where you want to be.
which is it's wild. That
And
is wild to me.
What changed from last year to this year?
They play two bigs like all the time, and
Brad
they
Stevens,
don't.
man.
They don't have Gordon Hayward. It's really. I mean, it's really the roster, man. I mean, they don't have like their good players are those big guys. They just don't have anybody. Their depth is horrific. Their young guys aren't good. Which is a problem.
Peyton Pritchard enters the chat.
Yeah, he does. and the young players are not good. He had a couple moments early on in the season, but he's a rookie point guard, and most of those guys aren't good.
Heck yeah.
But anyways, the Thunder move into the weekend, have a couple days off, which I'm sure that they appreciate because there will be very few times between now and the end of the season that they will have consecutive days off.
How shocked are people going to be though when they're like Al Horford sitting for rest on Sunday? Like, wait, you just had 3 days off.
Al Horford sitting for rest for the month of April.
Daylight savings time. I'm just saying, he's really thrown him off.
George Hill still has a cast on.
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny, like the idea of Presty like paying the doctor, sliding him a $20 bill every time, being like, "Oh, sorry, George, can't come off today." He's like, "What's going on? Get this cast off me." Can't come off. Day it's traded. The doctor's there with the saw. Comes right up.
The cast comes off on March 25th.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's how this goes.
whatever team trades for him has got the doctor waiting at the airport.
Yeah, exactly.
That saw just like, all right, here we go.
It's crazy.
That was the saw tearing the cast off.
Rip. That's what it sounds like.
John's factoid figure inventory. John's factoid figure inventory.
Speaking of records, oh, by the way, welcome to Tayshawn Factory Degree. Speaking of records, the Wizards are 15-25, and something I was just thinking about was, I think it's funny. Is it all over our Twitter timeline just because it's Russell Westbrook, or is it kind of like, are they in the general zeitgeist of the NBA right now?
I think it's more that we're
just seeing a lot of it because it's Russ, right?
I think so. Yes, it's kind of there, but I don't know how much people cared about. People cared more last night that it was the Jazz, and they did that it was Russell Westbrook.
Right. I just can't believe how much I've seen and heard on the Wizards and their 15-25 team, and it's just like, I think it's because one, Russ, OKC, two, Russ is just a superstar and like commands all this attention.
Yeah. He's a legend. Yeah,
he's a freaking legend. Well, last night the Wizards beat the Jazz. Westbrook and Beal were amazing, though they were on a losing streak before this. I believe they lost 5 in a row right before this. Mm-hmm. This is via the Golden Dance on Reddit. The Zards are 7-2 against the top 6 teams in the West, so they've beaten everyone that's in the West at least once.
Yep.
Which is weird. That means half of their 15 wins are against the Western Conference's best teams. Classic Russ. So here's my question. If you were an actual wizard in today's world, what would your general aesthetic be? Would you have robes? I want you to think about like what your clothing would be, what your hairstyle would be, and also please take into consideration things like being accepted by society and family. Do you want to have a romantic life? You know, how are you approaching this world if you're a wizard today?
I have a lot of thoughts about this. One, because I feel like
I think it would be cool.
The wizard one, it would be so dope. Second, the wizard outfit is very it's all about comfort, I feel like.
Yeah.
Long flowy robes, big long sleeve openings.
Very big sleeve openings.
Which you just don't see anywhere else. But what I would do is 2 things. One, I would be hooded, big beard, but hooded. Actually, no. 2 things. As I'm growing the beard, I would be hooded. Then you can't really see my face.
Yeah. Talking to the microphone, please.
Hooded, you can't really see my face. However, then once the beard is there, I unveil it, take off the hood, gigantic beard, and then I adorn a very fancy, wide brimmed, pointy wizard hat.
Wow.
Okay, this is what you want to look like today.
Yeah.
I'm saying like in today's society.
Yes, they should.
So everyone would know you're a wizard.
Yes, they should, and they should fear me. They should not understand me and fear me. I have powers.
Think of news. I mean, like people would use you as political.
I'm going to be at the top of a big hill in a
He
in a
wants
fancy
he wants the power. The
in a
attention.
He wants the fantasy
fancy-
power and attention.
fancy
The fear.
mansion.
Mm.
And I'm using my powers, and people should fear me, and rightfully so,
Yeah.
because I
Okay.
have powers.
What does your romantic life look like?
It is often talked about, but never confirmed. But there is one. I'm surrounded in mystery.
Right.
I would just replicate Monty McCutcheon's new look. Have you seen him?
No.
So this is what he looked like as an NBA referee.
Okay.
Very normal man.
Yes. Normal
Showing
NBA
this- I
referee.
don't know if we can. Yeah, there we go. Here's what he looks like today.
Oh, that is.
Oh wow!
Like
He might actually
wizard.
be a wizard.
That's good.
You're a wizard, Monty. Let
doesn't,
me see that.
doesn't he look like a wizard?
What are those glasses?
I don't know.
I can't believe he had this
Wizard.
style hidden behind the
Wi-
bland NBA.
Wizard glasses.
Those are wizard glasses.
So that would I saw that this week and I thought
Wizard.
that's me.
That's you.
That's me as a wizard.
so far, two very publicly open wizards.
Not me, man.
What? You're going to be a secret wizard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. me
Explain
too.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, explain your secret wizardry.
For me, it's about, you want to project the image of normalcy because you
Right.
want to have as much of a normal life as you can,
Right.
but you want to be able to do incredible things in the back of your life, right? Like you can do all sorts of wizarding things. I'd probably have like a longer hair,
Mm.
and it would definitely be dark.
Yeah.
Slick back.
That's
Yes,
cool.
back. I would have a beard, but not too showy like the
Uh-huh.
L-Mans. And then I would just probably wear a lot of 3-piece suits, a lot of vests.
Oh yeah. I like.
You sound like you'd look like a Death Eater,
Yeah,
yeah.
Huh.
which would be very controversial for a pastor.
true. True. I'd probably have to
Pastor turned wizard is
Honestly-
maybe not the best thing for your career.
probably have to change careers if I was a wizard.
Interesting. You could just start a different kind of church.
Yeah, it's true. True that.
Different kind. So I would be you. No one would ever know I'm a wizard, and I would try my hardest.
Guys, Taylor's a wizard.
I think
He's created this because he is a wizard and he wants to throw it up, but he's just giving it away. He would present exactly as himself, but he has superpowers.
I think
Wizard
Luke's
powers.
right.
I get struck by lightning.
No one would know. I think it would be really hard to be so different from what normal society is. Like think of Spider-Man, right?
Uh-huh.
It was so hard for him to tell what's his love interest.
Mary Jane.
She was kind of freaked out. He didn't want to tell her. You feel like you're a freak when you're different. And I just don't know. It would just be hard to have a romantic life. Then you have to, I don't know what would happen if my partner accidentally gets like drunk and spills the beans. I'm a wizard, and then I have to perform magic on her. And now I hate myself because I swore to myself when I was younger I would never do this to my family or the people I love.
Take John's factoid figure inventory. Take John's factoid figure inventory.
You're so the Marvel references you're using are so wrong. I'm so bad at them. But that is not
Speaking
the right.
of Marvel, the Snyder cut, huh?
Yes, it sucks. Okay, I'm just going on.
It's also DC. He got so flustered.
I know.
I know. Okay, guys, this week there was a very, very, very good women's wrestling match
Three
that
varies.
everyone should seek out. Probably the best women's wrestling match I've ever seen.
Can guarantee you I will not. But
You should. People out there, if you're at all interested, you should go check it out. It was on AEW. It was on their TV show, their St. Patrick's Day Slam. It was with Britt Baker, who is a dentist. And
Wait, an actual dentist?
It is her character. She is Britt Baker DDS as her character, but also she is a practicing dentist. And
Wow.
and it was
Okay.
against Thunder Rosa, and it was very good. I don't want to spoil it if anyone's
Looking
at all
up
interested, but
now.
if you are at all interested, it is phenomenal.
did she perform a root canal?
She has several times, but not in a match.
Okay.
But
Has she ever pulled a tooth out in a match? That'd be cool.
Her finishing move is called the lock jaw, which is like a jaw, like it's kind of like the mandible
mankind?
claw.
Yeah.
It's like that's mankind.
Oh, cool.
But it is a very, very, very good match, and everyone should check it out.
Wow.
And I'm a huge wrestling fan, but I don't talk about wrestling because then it's like, oh, you should always check it out. Because you know,
You never talk about wrestling on this.
I want to bring if I'm going to say, hey, everyone check this out, I want it to be very good.
Yeah.
This one's very good, and it rocked.
Wow. Shout out to our friend in Greece and WKim14 from Sydney. And we have Daniel in the UK. And we have Madi, who is from the land of Royal Bengal Tigers. We have Brian Wilson from Wisco.
Everybody was surfing.
Miguel Davella from Malina. We have Adve from New Jersey. And Hoops Talk 69, as always. We'll be right back after this quick break. Let's talk about Artifact, a new company that helps you create a record of things that you can't afford to forget. Whether you want to tackle something big, like chronicling your mom's life story, or you want to do something small and of the moment, like bottling up your 9-year-old's 9-year-oldness before she turns 10, Artifact's professional interviewers guide you or whoever you want them to speak with through that process. And they make it easy by hosting conversations over the phone, then delivering a tight, polished edit that is unmistakably you, but also wouldn't sound out of place on the radio. Next time you have a big milestone, or you need to give a thoughtful gift, or you just want your parents to tell you the story of how they met so you can play it for your future generations, you can save $40 with the promo code DUNK40. It's easy to get started. Step 1, you go to heyartifact.com and choose the type of interview that you want to do. And they have a bunch of options, or you can create your own. And then step 2, Artifact is then going to send you a short list of questions so their interviewer can have some context when they speak to you. And then you book the interview. Step 3, the interview lasts about half an hour and you can do it over the phone. Artifact's professional editors and sound engineers take it from there. Artifacts start at $175, but as I mentioned, you can use the promo code DUNK40 to save $40 off your first Artifact. It's March, and listeners of this show know exactly what that means. It's officially tournament time! Whether you're a diehard fan rooting for your alma mater, or you just love getting into the bracket craziness, this is the week to kick your feet up and enjoy wall-to-wall coverage of college hoops. And let's be honest, you're not planning to get much done anyways. The only thing that feels better than watching your picks survive and advance is getting paid when they do. At The Athletic, our team of hoops experts and insiders are bringing you all the latest news, trends, and insights on the big dance, plus our picks for every single game on the slate in Indy. I'm looking at my Oklahoma State Cowboys and Cade Cunningham. Can he do what Carmelo Anthony did almost 20 years ago? I think he can. So I'm betting on the Cowboys. And now we're partnering with BetMGM to bring you the best exclusive offer to bet alongside us and win. For the first round, we're offering a free year's subscription to The Athletic when you bet just $1 with BetMGM using the promo code AthleticMM. You heard that right. $1 gets you a full year of The Athletic for new customers, or a full year extension if you're already subscribed. Plus, when you bring alongside our team and win, BetMGM will give you an additional $100 bonus. Register with BetMGM using the promo code AthleticMM and bet $1 to win $100 when any of the Athletics picks win their first round matchup. Plus, we'll give you a 1-year free subscription of The Athletic so you can experience the absolute best coverage of the tournament. Go to BetMGM.com and use the promo code AthleticMM when you sign up. New BetMGM customer offer only. Paid and free bets. Visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions.
Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, or West Virginia only. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado, Nevada, and Virginia. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help in Michigan. 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. And 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. In Tennessee, call or text the red line at 800-889-9789. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. Promotional offer not available in Nevada.
Twitter question.
And we're back.
Twitter questions.
Every time.
Wow.
Twitter questions. Our first Twitter question comes from @ShayMyName1, who says, "Hey, DTD crew, what personally would you realistically give up for the Thunder to have 2 top 5 picks? I.e., could Andrew give up Serial until the end of next season? Thanks, guys. Awesome as always."
Yeah, I mean, easily. There would be very few things like that, like coffee or beer or
You'd give up
cereal
coffee?
or whatever. Yes.
Coffee?
Yes. Yes.
Hard.
I would figure it out, guys.
Would you give up?
Only if I could get the credit, though.
Yeah, because Andrew Schleck. What an interesting story. Andrew Schleck, a local Oklahoma City podcaster,
give up coffee?
and because of that, the Oklahoma City Thunder
I would
are drafting 1 and 4.
Okay, would you give up marital physical
what?
relations?
Oh, Taylor. Taylor.
That might be the ultimate, though.
Taylor.
How far are we going here?
Wow.
Next question.
We don't have to go there. I would give up. I would give up a close second though, which is Asian food takeout.
You know what I don't think I could give up is showering.
Oh,
That's probably the
showering.
one thing I wouldn't be able to.
You'd be one
No.
stinky wizard.
It'd be so
Harry.
stinky.
Well, you would,
night,
yeah,
man.
you could.
So
I don't
good.
think you could do that. I could do it. Because I work here.
Yes.
I don't go anywhere.
You still poop.
Yeah,
It
but you
doesn't-
can always just go jump in the
You
pool.
can
Bro,
wipe.
yeah. Does
You
that
just can't
count?
Shower.
Yeah, it doesn't
If
Oh,
that doesn't
yeah, that's
count,
true.
if that doesn't count, then
Yeah.
yes, easy.
What?
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Taylor,
I honestly forgot you could wipe because I get straight in the shower every time.
are you?
No,
Please,
not
next
serious.
question.
No,
Gosh,
my
Taylor is
goodness.
like hijacking
Oh,
this show
my
into
word.
oblivion.
All right, next Twitter question. Oh my! I could have a full hour on that statement. Comes from @BarnKeen, who wants to know what realistic spot would the Thunder have to finish in the Tankathon rankings for y'all to feel more excited than scared on lottery day. They should end the season above Toronto, New Orleans, and 5, 6, 7, 8 is a toss-up between OKC, Zards, Sexland, Queens.
Slam Queen. Yeah, there's honestly no place that they could end up that I wouldn't feel nervous
Yeah,
about.
Because
to
if you
be
get in the top
honest.
3, you're like, we have a shot at number 1.
Yeah, if you're, it doesn't matter because I mean Houston, like we talked about it, Houston is more likely to, if they end up with the worst record, they're more likely to end up at 5 than they are at 1.
I know. Y'all did that whole math rundown, and I was just like, you know that gif of Zach Galifianakis like trying all those numbers.
I
in
love
there.
that every
Yeah.
time.
I was literally just trying to listen to you and Alex talk about that. I was like, I'm just totally lost.
You should go look at it. You should go look at Tankathons. I can actually put it up here.
I'm there
for the
every
people
single morning.
that are watching.
Tankathon.com. I wake up
Every
like, what did last
morning.
night do? Mock draft, lottery,
For real.
sim.
If you were to like really summarize the point, Andrew, basically it's like go big or go home, right? It's better to take a chance on a better pick than have better odds at a 8 or 9.
Yeah, like when was the last time like the 8th pick was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we have the 8th pick because
Right.
it's saved our franchise.
It's 5 or nothing.
The
is
likelihood
better
is
than
just
8.
way lower. That's the thing is it's not that it's impossible, right? Like we go through the NBA and you can look at Steph Curry, you can look at Klay Thompson was that. You've got Donovan Mitchell, there's Giannis, obviously, Kawhi. There are players outside of the top 3 that have changed franchises. We get that. But if you were to do it comparatively to the top 3 picks of the last 100 years, it's no contest.
Here's the last 10. Here's the last 8th pick from 2010 to 2019. Al-Farouq Aminu, Brandon Knight, Terrence Ross, KCP, Nick Stauskas, Stanley Johnson, Marquise Chris, Frank Ntilikina, Colin Sexton, Jackson Hayes. That's the list.
Wow. Yeah, they're all kind of the
This guy, like,
same.
super depressed.
I'm
tier
telling you,
of
man,
player.
this is why the Thunder feel like totally fine with Houston losing as many games as possible. This is why you should feel fine about it. I mean, even 7, like the history of the 7th pick is not great.
Come on, bring it. This is fun.
Okay. Is this fun?
Yeah, do 7 and then do 9 too, because I do want to know. Because people are going to be like, it's not just the 8 I'm talking about specifically; it's in that range.
Yeah. So from 2010 to 2019, the 7th pick: Greg Monroe, Bismack Biyombo, Harrison Barnes, Ben McLemore, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Mudiay, Jamal Murray, Larry Markkinen, Wendell Carter, Kobe White.
No all-stars.
Is Jamal
Murray's never been
He
an
hasn't
All-Star.
been one. But
0
he's
All-Stars.
the best player.
Without question.
Yeah.
6th pick. You want to do the 6th pick?
This
Yes.
is a blast. I'll
Ooh,
spend the rest of the podcast.
Do we-
doing this.
I kind of like it too.
We're making our point
Do we like this game?
with tremendous certainty here.
The 6th pick: Epe Udoh,
Oh.
Jan Vesely, Damian Lillard, Nerlens Noel,
Okay.
Marcus Smart, Willie Cauley-Stein, Buddy Hield, Jonathan Isaac, Mo Bamba, Jarrett Culver.
Okay, so you had one franchise player in that.
1.
And some decent players, but nobody that
Some decent guys, but nothing that makes you just super excited. The 5th pick in the draft: DeMarcus Cousins, Jonas Valanciunas, Thomas Robinson, Alex Len, Dante Exum, Mario Hezonja, Chris Dunn, De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, Darius Garland.
Okay, so you had a couple more there. Still not that much better of a list, but you had a couple more in there.
Yeah,
and the top 5 in this draft are projecting to be.
better than most.
I think Jalen Green is the guy that I'm not sure he could be a franchise altering guy, but
Yeah, I have no clue. Even 4: Wesley Johnson, Tristan Thompson, Dion Waiters, Cody Zeller, Aaron Gordon, Kristaps Porzingis, Dragon Bender, Josh Jackson, Jaren Jackson Jr., DeAndre Hunter. It's like still kind of like, oh my god.
Porzingis and JJJ, the only ones in there.
I know. 3: Derek Favors, Enes Kanter, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter, Joel Embiid, Jahlil Okafor, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, RJ Barrett. It's like, oh gosh,
There you
that's
go.
much
That's
better.
way better.
That's where we need to be.
Much better.
And I think that the other practice that is helpful in that is to go through, like, if you looked at the all-star team, and you put them all out there, which all-star team is still not completely indicative of that kind of franchise player.
Mm-hmm.
But if you took those guys and you threw them out there, where do a majority of them land in the draft? Is some of them are kind of in those later rounds. I mean, obviously Jokic is the outlier, and he was drafted
Kawhi.
in the second. Kawhi.
Yeah.
But you get, I mean, the Steph Curry was in the top 10. LeBron, obviously, Kevin Durant, James
Mhm.
Harden, all those
Mhm.
guys
Mhm.
were top 2, 3.
Yeah.
It just is.
Number 2 pick, should we do it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Evan Turner, Derek Favors, MKG, Victor Oladipo, Jabari Parker, D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Marvin Bagley, Ja Morant.
Ooh,
That one's not great.
that one's really not great.
It's brutal. The draft is it's really difficult.
Here, and I will say this, just as kind of an aside, as part of this conversation, the draft is also especially brutal because it historically gathers the worst teams. Like, that's what it's set up to do, is to create equality among players.
Yeah.
And so it's going to get, like, the Timberwolves have drafted so many of those guys.
Yeah.
And they are historically really bad at it.
They're bad at
At
it.
drafting.
The Knicks are not very good at
Even if you
drafting.
do pick the right guy, you still have to build a team. You still have to have a team culture. You still have to
Mhm.
do all that stuff. And that's why, like, the Timberwolves have never tanked. Like, they've never actually done it strategically. They just suck as a franchise. Number 1 pick in the last 10 years: John Wall, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Anthony Bennett, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, DeAndre Ayton, Zion Williamson. Like, give me that list.
Right. Number 3 is actually the best list we've gotten so far, but yeah.
Number 1 was
Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, like Karl Anthony Towns, Ben Simmons,
Zion.
Ayton, Zion. Like, that's
Bennett.
Bennett. Like,
But the point of that
Give me
is
that list.
if you compared 5, 6, 7, that whole list versus the list of 1 through 3, clearly
1 through 3. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
The
It's
franchise altering players earn 1, 2, 3
Yes.
more often than not.
yeah, and some people are like, I'd rather have a chance at the 10th pick, more certainty of the 10th pick than I would
The chance of a 5.
the chance of the 5th pick. The 10th pick is actually kind of interesting. Like Paul George, Jimmer Fredette, Austin Rivers, CJ McCollum, Alfred Payton, Justice Winslow, Thon McClure, John Collins, Mikal Bridges, Cam Reddish. It's a
So you had
crapshoot.
2 guys in there though.
Yeah. It's a crapshoot.
And then 10 through 20, I bet is the same. If you go through, like, to me, the 10th pick to the 19th pick, that quality of player isn't that much different.
It's a roll of the dice,
Yeah.
which kind of we're seeing like a lot of it is anyway. But
Yeah.
you could have a Donovan Mitchell,
right.
with Devin Booker, who are 11, 10, 12,
Mhm.
or you could have Cameron Payne,
Yeah.
or
Or
Cole Aldrich,
Giannis.
or Giannis, or like insert kind of guy
Mhm.
that never even made the NBA.
Right.
And that's the hard part, and that's why
It's a real NBA top shot.
I think the encouragement in that for me is to think like this is also why it's important to have as many shots at it as you can.
Definitely.
Because if you miss on 2 of them and you hit on 1 of them, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next
was
Twitter
fun.
question. That was good. Good question at Barn Keen. Our next Twitter question comes from at Bryant800, who wants to know what to trade that 2 bad teams can make with each other to help both get ahead of the Thunder in the standings. Adams for Heald?
Adams for Heald is interesting. Honestly, at this point, I just don't know if a trade like that actually exists to make both teams better.
Currently, the Thunder there are 8 teams worse than the Thunder. Currently.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
tied. They're
standings.
tied with New Orleans, and then Sacramento is a game ahead or half a game behind them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, and we've been saying this for a while, is if the Thunder put together a 2 or 3 game losing streak, which is where we currently are, which is 2 games, but if it grows, the Thunder will be right there. And
Yeah, they jump like 5
Yeah.
spots. Yeah.
Especially since you look at these teams, and it still seems like Sacramento, New Orleans, Washington are trying to win. I think even Orlando maybe still trying to win.
They were very mad they lost that game.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this is on Friday when we gather here next Friday, we'll have a way clearer image of who is trying to go into the tank and who is trying to win.
Sure.
Because of some of these teams, if Vucevic is on the Magic on Friday, like they're still going to try to compete.
Yeah, definitely.
If Sacramento didn't do a fire sale and get rid of Buddy or
Harrison Barnes.
Angelica, like who?
Angelica.
Angelica. But
From
you know what
the
I'm saying? Like
Rugrats?
if Cleveland's still holding on to, they're not going to, but I guess their kind of core is kind of who it is between Garland, Jared Allen, and Colin Sexton. But
Yeah.
I do wonder, one of the things I was thinking of, and I don't know how they would do it. This would probably be more of maybe an acquisition and buyout world, but the Wizards are one that I'm like, I don't know how they pull it off, but I even thought like, how would LaMarcus Aldridge look on the Wizards?
Terrible, old, slow,
Yeah,
What about Kevin Love?
just everywhere.
terrible, old, slow. Those guys are they just make a ton of money. They once were good. They're not. Those guys aren't moving the needle for anybody.
To me, if the Wizards are gonna be better, it's just gonna be Westbrook and Beal are just carrying them.
Yeah, and they could use George Hill. Like they just need more guys that can play.
God, that feels like a waste of George Hill, doesn't it?
Not if we get a first for it.
Not if we get a first, and not if they can get into the play-in. Like
Yeah.
they just desperately want to get to the play-in. Like that's what they want. Like they're not. The Beal is not on the table at all. They desperately want to get to the play-in. And if you want to see what a George Hill trade would look like, you can go to theathletic.com/down-to-dunk and look at Fred Katz's article because he discusses lots of different Wizards trades, including a George Hill trade. Go check it out.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from at Kale Courtright, who says the year is 2025. Thunder make the finals. Who from this year's roster is still on the team and in what role?
2025, 2020. 5.
I mean, Shea. And he's in a starting guard role.
Pokemon?
And obviously
In what role?
is our starting small forward.
Oh, small forward. Wow.
Why do you say that?
Because
What other position? What other position would he play?
well, I don't know. Just put him at the 4, but play him as a wing or a swing man, and then just have a big man.
He's a wing, yeah.
Teo, potentially, and Lou Dort would be the only other ones.
No Roby?
No, I do not know.
You're the biggest Roby fan in the world. Come on,
No, I'm
Jay.
not.
You know who is going to be on this team? Moses Brown.
Moses Brown,
5 years
starting
from now.
center.
Center. Averaging 20 and 20.
No, I mean, realistically, it's Shea and Dort. And that's
Both gonna be on-
realistically, that might be it.
And both on bigger contracts at that point, too. Big contracts at that point.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how it works.
Dortmund, though.
What
2 more
about
years.
Hamidou Diallo back?
He's still out for the Pistons, isn't he?
What about Myers Leonard?
Oh,
Is he sticking around?
Oh,
Think they're gonna bring him
No.
back?
The guy is done in the NBA.
Yeah, I would realistically say Shea and Dort. And no, I have hope for Poku, but we've got to see some more from the Pokemon.
We need some more.
Yeah.
He could have been better last night, I'll tell you that. Listen, you can't have a 23-point game and then just not show up.
Yeah,
Right.
It's probably going to be what he does, though.
No. If you're going to be a player in this league,
If you're going to be 19 years old in this league, you better be consistent.
look at Anthony Edwards. Consistently shooting about 38% from the field.
Exactly. Consistently taking 30 shots a game.
All right, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from Timothy H4L3, maybe. Who wants to know, if you could only have one kind of pizza for the rest of your life, what kind would you pick?
Place or kind? What do you think?
Kind.
Let just do whatever in your mind tells you.
I think it's kind. And I would is it cheating to say like a supreme pizza and then you could just make it what you want every time?
I want this one with no olives. I want this.
No.
That's
No.
cheating. That's cheating.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
but you could take toppings off.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you do that, if you're doing like a DiGiorno Supreme,
Yeah.
that's all you can do. You can't go out and to Hideaway and get a Supreme pizza then, and be like, take this off and this off, because then you just get to pick every kind of
I'm
pizza.
saying like it comes
No,
to
I
your
mean,
plate,
like-
it comes to your table and then you pull off what
Then you can
don't
pull
want.
off the toppings that you want to
This
pull
day
off.
I want a sausage pizza.
but the juices from those
Yes,
those things
yes,
have
you do have you
incorporated to
you
the
have to
other
pay
pizza.
for the sins of the other toppings. Yes, but you still get to make it what you want.
No,
Kind of.
I don't feel like that's in the spirit of the question.
Yeah, I agree.
straight sausage.
Feels like a workaround.
It's a workaround, but that would be my choice.
Straight sausage, Jay.
Sausage.
Another one.
I'm going Hideaway pizza. I'm going Hideaway pizza, pepperoni and mushroom.
Cheese and
Genuinely my
rice,
favorite.
Jay.
Genuinely
God,
my
it's hot in
favorite
here.
pizza.
Oh, I gotta take off this sweatshirt. Help
Right.
me.
Guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question.
I'm
And
going jalapeno pineapple with barbecue sauce. Next question.
where from?
That's
Your mom's house.
That's it forever.
jalapeno pineapple forever.
Jalapeno
barbecue sauce?
Well, he gets other food. He just right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
No.
just the only kind of pizza he can
Well,
do.
some days I don't want the pineapple.
No, you can't do that. We just
Oh,
discussed
yeah.
that.
The pineapple
cheating.
juices haven't been incorporated to the other
Yeah.
parts of the pizza.
Yeah,
Straight
it's
Sorry.
cooked in.
Hey
Just
guys,
straight
let's
sauce.
move. Guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question.
I
It comes
can't.
from
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do it.
Straight up sausage.
Lord, good Lord.
Oh.
All right, our next Twitter question comes from @Morgan Stevens, who wants to know, what are some cheap young prospects the Thunder can target at the deadline? Example, Romeo Langford.
Yeah, I mean, you could target Romeo Langford, and you could probably have him for just about any asset whatsoever. I would say this, that the Thunder aren't going to be targeting young players at the deadline. Like they want, I know that they have an unnecessary amount of picks.
An absurd amount of picks.
What are they at? 31?
35.
35.
35
in
to
the
27.
in the next 7 years, they have 35.
That's an
Tom-
average of 5 picks per year.
Yes. That's the math.
Math.
But yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I've always just wanted to see if Kevin Knox has anything, and you could probably get him for almost nothing because he doesn't really even play for the Knicks. So he would be a guy that I would just be like, okay, he's tall. He played with Shea Kentucky. He's a highly touted prospect. He's a wing that's 6'7" that can shoot it. Let's just
Totally buried in New York.
let's just see what he can do. Like Tibbs won't play him because he doesn't defend. So let's bring him here. Let's see what he can do. Like that's one of the young guys.
But
Mo Bamba, we talked about Mo Bamba a lot. He's a guy that I would, if it was minimal cost, yes, bring in Mo Bamba.
But I think these are guys that you're going to get. The more likelihood is OKC gives a George Hill to a team that gives us back a Mo Bamba, right? Like,
sure,
in the sense of we get a second and this guy that they don't really care about anymore.
mm-hmm.
Like that's the likelihood of adding. OKC, I think you mentioned it, or I know you mentioned it, but they're not like in hot pursuit of somebody. This isn't the, whatever 2013 draft or whatever. It wasn't 13, but the Victor Oladipo draft where Sam just was trying to go through the list of players.
Yeah, that was 13. Yeah,
and acquiring them along the way. It's just one of those things where if they got, that could be a piece that they got. So here's my thought, or my question, I guess, is would they, instead of getting draft compensation, look at a guy like Magic can't give a future first or whatever, or a future second for whoever, but they would give a Mo Bamba. Like, you think Sam would just be like, nah, we're good.
I don't know the thought process behind that.
But
But
that
I
makes sense. So what I'm asking,
yeah, I think, I mean, you'd have to consider it. Like, and guys that I would consider, like Nick Claxton from the Nets. The Nets don't have a lot of assets to use, but if they wanted George Hill, you could ask for Nick Claxton instead. And to me, he's a very interesting young player.
We have him.
At the center.
He's called Moses Brown.
Yeah, he's like Moses Brown, like
with blonde hair.
And he's good. Like I think Nick Claxton's legitimately good. He's a first round pick. And then, like, I've always been enamored with Fiondu Kabengele from the Clippers. He's a guy who doesn't play for the Clippers. He is older, though, so I don't know that the Thunder would really want him or target him in a trade at all, because I think he's already 23 or maybe almost 24.
Oh, God, gray hairs.
So, right, I know. So those are young guys that it would have to be guys on teams that are just either not playing at all, or guys like a Mo Bamba where it's like, oh gosh, like he just hasn't been good.
Yeah,
he just legitimately hasn't been good.
Hey guys, let's move on to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Kyle Pennebaker, who wants to know if the Thunder weren't exploring the roster this year and players weren't sitting, how many wins would this team be getting?
It's a good
I
question.
think there's a chance they would be 500.
Yeah, I mean, they would be within 3 games of 500 probably the rest of the season, and probably not make the play-in and be like the 13th pick or 14th pick in the draft. Like that's what we'd be looking at, which is the most miserable place to be.
Which, by the way, they're really not that far away from that scenario.
They're 5
You
away
just-
from. Aren't they only 5 back? 17 to 22. 17 to 24.
17
They're
to
17,
24.
24.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if they won 2 more, then it would be 19 and 22. You
Right.
know? So it's like, it's really not that far away from that scenario.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they just played 2 teams that aren't that good in Chicago and Atlanta.
Well, Atlanta is streaking.
That's great.
We're going streaming.
Oh, it's not quite as.
Yeah.
No,
I
no.
won't give you that
Sorry,
one.
bro.
Yeah.
I was reaching for that one.
Yeah, I think they would have had a chance in those games had they played the lineups. And I mean,
Yeah, is George Hill like? I mean, we were joking about it earlier, but like, how bad was George Hill's thumb? Was it a surgery that I was like, we could do it in the off season, but
right.
why don't you just do it?
Yeah, maybe he
now?
plays
Maybe.
this whole time. And that's certainly possible.
Yeah, and then with the draft capital, like even if they want to made a not get rid of some of it, but could have made a peripheral move that could have increased. Like if they wanted to win with this team, they could have done more work to do that. Also, just keep Chris Paul and
Dennis Schroeder and Danilo Gallinari,
and Steven Adams.
Yeah.
Like
then you're actually good. But yeah, I think that they could be at and around 500-ish. And maybe even at that point, they invite Trevor Ariza to play.
Yeah.
And he plays on your team all year, and you don't have to play any of the really young guys. You have like a real rotation-ish.
It does, like one of the weirder, not really important things that's in my thought process is like, what does Trevor Ariza look like when he shows up to Miami?
Yeah, we have no idea. Like
Dude,
the
he played for
Levitard
a
guys,
year almost.
they're talking about the Heat and whatever, and they're kind of expecting Ariza to be
Ariza.
Ariza.
He hadn't been Ariza in a long time.
No,
He just hadn't played. Like, he was pretty good before the bubble started, and
Yeah.
he didn't go.
yeah,
And he hadn't played since then. So we don't know. But he was pretty good for the Blazers in his time there. But
how old is he now
that was
though?
a long time ago.
50?
50? Yeah, he's around there.
He's got to be mid-30s, right? 35?
Yeah,
It's, I don't know exactly his age.
And I can find it out pretty
you
quick.
don't just have that information in your head.
Not anymore.
I'm gonna guess he's 34.
35 straight up. Turns
Straight up,
36 this summer.
straight
Yeah.
up sausage.
Straight up.
All right, guys. Our last Twitter question. I don't know. Comes from @Bangelope, who wants to know if you can only eat one dessert for the rest of your life, which dessert would it be?
A lot of pressure.
One dessert.
I have mine.
Yeah.
It is creme brulee.
What a weird decision.
I like creme brulee. My family
It's
big
good,
big creme brulee fans.
but that's it.
Yeah.
So if I choose ice cream, do I have only one flavor of ice cream?
Yes,
quit
yes,
the workaround.
yes.
Jeez,
If
man.
it's the rest of my life, I need a workaround.
No, you only get one.
one.
Okay.
Chocolate chip cookie.
Just a chocolate chip.
I don't know,
cookie.
man. I just
That's
From
a good
where?
one. That's a good one.
I got a free reward from Chick-fil-A. It's a chocolate chip cookie
Yeah.
just sitting in my bank right now.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm just
good.
like they have
So
some of-
good.
I mean, it's so
A
good.
cookie. Yeah, it's good.
I'm on the app. I got a free sandwich. I hate it. Don't
Why?
want it.
Why?
I just hate these
You're
apps.
so
I
weird.
hate
That
these
is
apps,
the
man.
weirdest, dumbest take you've ever
I
had.
hate these apps. Get the apps
They're
out of
like,
my
here,
life.
look, here's a free sandwich. You're like, oh, it's so annoying.
I
I'm never
guess.
going there again.
Fine.
You are the only person in the history of man to feel this way.
What dessert you having?
I don't know. You have to come back to me.
I might-
I cannot decide.
Chocolate chip cookie is really good. That's such a
just a-
good one because it's
A
gonna
lot
be
of options.
classic,
A lot of options within that.
right? Like, where
are the
you getting it
options?
from?
Chips
Subway.
Ahoy, Subway.
But if I
Chick-fil-A.
have to, what? You can choose.
Variants of the same exact thing. I think.
Like you could get vanilla ice cream, but you could go get vanilla ice cream at Brahms.
Baskin
Vanilla
Robbins,
ice, yeah, right.
Ben and Jerry's.
Okay. Luke doesn't like that.
Andrew
Blue
likes
Bell
this because
homemade
it's a
ice cream.
workaround.
It is a workaround.
But it is
That's
I
still
think
within the
it's- I
heart
think
of
it's
the
right.
question.
It's-
What
I
about-
mean, look, if you go to different restaurants, you can still get creme brulee
yeah,
at
they're all
that
making it a little
restaurant.
different. They're having little different fruits on top.
Could you do cookie cake with that? Chocolate
Technically,
chip.
it's just one giant
Yeah.
chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's
That might be
I'll
the
take
right.
it.
Yeah,
that's allowed.
it's a good choice now. It's a really good choice now. I love peach cobbler
Oh,
You'd get tired of it.
with ice cream.
You get tired of it.
a la mode, if you will.
Yeah, that's what I choose.
You'd get tired of the peach.
I don't think so. You don't have to have it at every meal. You can just choose to not have it. You can choose to have not a dessert.
It's not the only food you can eat for the rest of your life.
I'm
Supreme-
thinking after
Supreme
every
pizza.
single meal.
Supreme pizza, peach cobbler. every
That's
meal.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. Locked in.
What was your pizza, Luke?
What was my pizza? Did
Yeah.
I say my pizza?
Yeah, you did.
I said
Pepperoni
and
and
mushroom,
mushroom.
from Hideaway.
Pepperoni and mushroom.
Good one,
That's
man.
a pretty good one.
Yeah, pepperoni mushroom is great. It's real good.
Yeah.
All right,
It is good.
guys, are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and
Have we lost that drop?
No, I just don't have it loaded up.
because we haven't done this.
I'm not
Just hit the
doing it.
Poku one.
Oh man, you miffed or peeved?
I'm not that miffed. I'm not that peeved.
How can you be when you got that tracksuit on?
Got a tracksuit on. You know, I have the tracksuit on because it's going to be easy access for
Okay.
for my second shot. And
Oh, you got your second shot today?
I'm going after this.
Oh my gosh.
Excited.
You're 2 weeks away from getting all the L-Man you want.
In two weeks, I'm. If you guys need to find me, I'm going to be
At the bars.
at the bars. Yeah, going buck wild. It's going to be great.
Can't be miffed and peeved, man.
No, I'm just going to be. I'm happy today.
Grateful and blessed is how we used to
Grateful,
say.
I know, but in 2 weeks, I'm just going to be drunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tayshawn?
Yeah, I was a little miffed and peeved at myself. I cleaned up my car
Mm-hmm.
the other day, and it was just the further and further I went into that trash pile, I could remember some of these things that I ate, and I was like, oh, wow, that was a good 3 months ago. So I'm miffed and peeved at what my car was, withholding.
Thanks for listening to our show. You can follow us at DTD Podcast. Hope you guys just have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you subscribe to The Athletic, theathletic.com/down to dunk. And we'll talk to you guys again on Monday.
I'm just a prisoner.